All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son. Double honor unto the elders and the apostles, a great millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. It's the brother Mashal, one of the men coming up under the burn show here in the morning camp. We with a quick lesson once again, and it's going to be an edification. Just also further proving that, further showing why we are to keep the Sabbath holy, and just cutting the argument that that you can have sex on the Sabbath. All right, because once again that's polluting the Sabbath, and we're gonna prove it through the scriptures. All right, it's just a few couple precepts that I found and that can also further edify on this topic. So so without further ado, I'm gonna get right into it. This is I'm gonna start off with it in the law, in Exodus the 20th chapter, and starting at verse 8, and it reads, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates." All right, so plain and simple, it's telling us within the law, okay, as it was told to Moses, and he told it to the people, we are to keep the Sabbath day holy. All right, and let's grab it also in Exodus the 31st chapter. All right, because it's another point I want to grab real quick, or something else I want to grab or go into, and really just proving overall, just not doing your own pleasure. All right, I really could have said that, just not doing your own pleasure, which it could be anything. All right, whether just not doing your own pleasure. All right, but we're gonna further prove it through the scriptures. Exodus 31 and starting at 14. "Ye shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people." All right, now let's go into that word defileth. All right, it's another precept within the law showing to keep the Sabbath day holy, right? All right, when we go into this word defileth, all right, one of the definitions is to profane oneself, defile oneself, to pollute oneself. All right, and one of the words it has here is what? All right, sexually. Okay, so that argument that you can lie with your woman on the Sabbath, okay, that just proving it through the scriptures, okay, that is going off, okay, because it says right here, if you do that, then you're polluting yourself. All right, so that right there is a cut clearly showing you can't do that on the Sabbath. You can't lie with your woman on the Sabbath. All right, because even when we go to the 19th chapter in Exodus, right, and starting at verse 9, Exodus 19:9, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes." Right? So the Lord said to sanctify, right? Let's go into that word sanctify. And just adding on also to the point of the word holy, okay, as it said, to keep the Sabbath day holy. All right. So the word sanctify here is what? Kodash. All right. To consecrate, sanctify, prepare, dedicate, to be hallowed, be holy. All right. Set apart. Okay, so like I said, thou shalt keep the Sabbath day holy. All right. So it's the same thing, right? It ties in the word sanctify and the word holy, okay, are synonymous. right? So let's further read on in this precept, showing also what Moses made him do. Verse 11 says, and be ready against the third day, for the third day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai, and thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves that ye go not up into the mount or touch the border of it. Whosoever toucheth the mount shall be surely put to death. I want to get to the point though. Verse 14. Matter of fact, we can just read down. There shall not an hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounded long, they shall come up to the mount. So verse 14, and Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes, right? So showing you an example of being sanctified, okay? And he said unto the people, be ready against the third day, come not at your wives, all right? And even when we read it in the NLT, right next to it, it says, hold them, get ready for the third day, until then abstain from having sexual intercourse, all right? So when we read that in Exodus 31 and Exodus 20, when it said to keep the Sabbath day holy, okay, it's pretty much meaning the same thing as it's saying here, to be sanctified, okay? So in that sense, it is clearly saying as well not to come at your wives, okay, on the Sabbath day, all right? That's another way of keeping it holy, right? I mean, we proving it here, plain and simple. So from here, now let's grab Isaiah, because I want some precepts that came to my mind. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 13. And it reads, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. Okay? So what? Right here is saying not to do your own pleasure, right? So let's grab a few examples showing that coming at your wife, okay, or lying with your woman, okay, is a pleasure. All right. So let's grab Genesis chapter 18 and verse 12. Let's start at verse 10. Shalaki, I kind of forgot to flip through my books as well. Was just kind of focused on grabbing the precept and reading it, but I'll get it in my book as well. Shalaki. So Genesis 18 and 10. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door which was behind him. So this was the Lord coming on to Abraham and telling him that he's going to come back, and Sarah, his wife, was going to conceive, right? Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women, right? She was old and she was a grown woman, so it wasn't as if she was a young woman to where it's more easier to bear, right? Because of course a woman grown up, all right, once she reaches the flower of her age, that's she's able to bear children quick, right? Verse 12, therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, after I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? Right. So she said, shall she have pleasure after being old? Going into what? Pretty much because she was thinking her being that old, how is Abraham going to be able to come and lie with her, right? That's ultimately what it's going into, all right? So that word pleasure being there, showing that lying with your woman, okay, is a pleasure, all right? Let's also let's grab Wisdom of Solomon. And I don't have my apocrypha with me, but it's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, and starting at the top, and it reads, I myself also am a mortal man, like to all, and the offspring of him that was first made of the earth, and in my mother's womb was fashioned to be flesh in the time of 10 months, being compacted in blood of the seed of man, and the pleasure that came with sleep. All right, so what's Solomon going into? What's he speaking about here in this chapter? He's talking about how he was born and how he came forth, okay? And he said, of the seed of man and the pleasure that came with sleep. All right. I mean, it's really self-explanatory. If you it's pretty much going into what, lying with a woman. All right. Sex. You know. So that's pretty much what it is. So showing you that pleasure, okay, well, that word pleasure there is also applied here when it comes to a man lying with a woman. All right, so showing you that on the Sabbath day, okay, doing your own pleasure, okay, lying with a woman falls under that category. So not doing your own pleasure is also not lying with a woman. So just so I wanted to edify on that, and really anything else, all right. But just wanted to edify on that point. It's just proving it through the precepts, you know, just something I looked over. So, but that was pretty much the point. Want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shad, Bahashem Ruchakodash for putting the spirit upon me to do this lesson. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of great millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walk him, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.